first, let's talk about the Bruce Arians thing just real quick. Bruce Arians retired as the head coach. Todd Bowles will now step up, who was the defensive coordinator. He now steps up in the head coaching position. And Bruce Arians is actually not completely retiring. He's just moving up into like a front office type of a role. So, good for him. I know he is very well liked around in the league. So, it just kind of seemed like it was inevitable that this was going to happen. I know that Bill Simmons, I forgot who he had on when they were talking about this, but Bill Simmons kind of had a joke throughout the year where you could tell if the Buccaneers were going to be good last year or not in a game, just judging by the tone, like the color of Bruce Arians' face. If it was really dark, like really bright red, that means he had been golfing the day before, which means he wasn't doing anything football-wise. Oh, so wow. They're going to have a bad day. And so, okay. And it was almost money. Okay, it was almost money. So, I think he had been wanting to do this for a while, but kudos to Bruce Arians. It came out that he wanted Todd Bowles to take over a while ago. Yeah, but he wanted to leave him a good team, and I'm pretty sure that Bruce Arians was full on ready to coach this year. But then Tom Brady came back, and I'm pretty sure he had a little bit of a hand in that, as well as probably Todd Bowles. Yeah. And so I really feel like, Bruce Arians was ready to coach. I heard there was some conspiracy theories of like, well, maybe Tom Brady knew that Bruce Arians was going to go, and that's why he came back. And instead of just staying retired. I don't know how true that is. I don't know how bad the relationship between, Tom Brady and Bruce Arians was, but I believe the story in that Bruce Arians wanted to give it to Todd Bowles. I think we had talked about this before when they hired Todd Bowles as a DC. We had figured that he was probably going to be the next coach once Arians was done, and it didn't seem like he was going to be there that much longer anyway. So, good for Todd Bowles. I believe he deserved another chance. I think he kind of got screwed over with the New York Jets. I mean, he made that defense phenomenal and nothing to show for it, really. So, I am very happy for Todd Bowles to be able to get this opportunity and do it with an actual quarterback. So,
yeah, no, I agree. And I think when we were talking about who the next head coach should be for the Raiders before McDaniels ultimately got the job, I had on mine, and I think you did too, Todd Bowles as a favorite, or at least in your top 5 of who you wanted the Raiders to go after. And, I agree. I think he got the short end of the stick with the Jets, and I'm glad to see that he's getting another opportunity. But I think, too, what makes this kind of really, really cool and really a positive thing is, I had heard the reports earlier this morning as well, too, when it was kind of announced by Schefter. And basically, in addition to what he reported, is he meaning Bruce Arians, actually convinced Tom Brady to come out of retirement, telling him like what the plan is going to be, wanted to make sure Todd Bowles was set up for success. And Tom Brady obviously agreed to it. And a majority of the Buccaneers have, re-signed, come back to make sure that this team is as ready as it can be for Todd Bowles. And I think, too, it's like a perfect blueprint to what teams should do. If you want a coach to succeed, and, if that current coach who has, quote unquote, succeeded as much as they can with that team, rather than implode it, why don't you put a coach in there in a good situation rather than have him go through the dog years, which is what Todd Bowles did. So it's really cool to see that Bruce Arians is giving him a team that is ready to roll and, arguably maybe, an NFC favorite going into the regular season. And Todd Bowles has already earned a ton of respect from the players, and even former players are, giving him their approval and like how great of a coach he is. So this is huge. And I think too, the NFL should be more like this, where you have coaches like Bruce Arians setting the example to make it a point to have their guys succeed, and Sean McVay is very notorious for doing this too, but Bruce Arians has been very public about it. I told you earlier today too that Bruce Arians has this favorite video clip where he threatens to fire his staff if they miss any of his family's important activities, whether it's kids' recitals, sporting events, anniversaries, whatever. He goes, "I'll fire you. Your family never comes before football. It's always family first, no matter what." And he's the only coach that preaches that, it sounds like, which is phenomenal. And this is just a great example of him making sure that his guys are successful, and he leaves them in a situation where they're set up to succeed. And granted, yeah, he's going to be within the organization, but bottom line is, it's not like he's walking away and the team is falling apart. Good luck, Todd Bowles, or whatever coach in there now. This is actually a huge deal, and I think more NFL teams should do this. It would set up the NFL for a lot more success, especially for coaches of minority with Todd Bowles. I mean, who knows if he would have gotten another opportunity because of one bad team that he was on that was handed to him, and it was a crapshoot to begin with. And now with him actually improving this team or being on a Super Bowl winning team, this just helps him so much more and gives him a better opportunity to show what he can really do. So,
yeah. So congratulations to Todd Bowles. That's great. You know what? I thought this scenario was actually going to happen in New England with Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels. Obviously, that's not going to happen now, but that was one of those things that I thought was going to happen, because I thought it was weird that McDaniels still hadn't left for a head coaching job, even though every offseason his name was involved.
Yeah.
But now we know he was just waiting for a right opportunity, and so far, I just want to say it looks pretty good so far. But anyway.